Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Q&A ahead of Gameweek 13. Absolutely no notice given for this one, Sam. Our team, the social team, has forgotten to tweet anything out. The stream wasn't set up. I'm taking no blame for it.
I think they forgot that we exist as.
We are quite forgettable.
I think they thought, those two idiots that run the Q&A, let's not promote them at all.
Are they still on the payroll, those two, of all the joke streams they've done over the last few months?
They're also probably thinking, Christ, that one of them runs the business now. Get her off.
Oh, you? I thought you meant me. It's me behind the scenes.
You don't run the business. You run this stream. That's why it's always chaos.
I run this stream. That sounds quite cool. You're a bit quiet. Have your mic changed?
Oh, no, darling.
No.
I'll bring it closer to me.
Can you tap the mic? No, you're not on that. You're not on the shore.
Well, according to the stream, I am.
You were fine before we went on, and
okay. According to the stream, according to Ninja, I'm on the shore. What shall I do?
Okay, so on the little settings bit on the Ninja, your little settings say audio source, microphone shore.
They do, yeah. Okay,
can you just flick it off it and then flick it back? If it doesn't work, we'll just leave it.
Okay, hang on. I'm going to no audio for a second.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I'm back.
Yeah, tap the mic.
Okay, hang on.
Yeah, that's it. That's fine.
All right, okay.
Cool. You good?
I'm all right, yeah. Why are we in charge of this stream?
Oh, I just unplugged myself. Hang on. Pull my headphones out. I just spat all over the keyboard as well. It's disgusting. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, so my mic's not working. You've called me massive before we started this stream.
No, I called you big. I called you big, not massive. You keep saying massive. Only because you were really zoomed in on the window, not for any other reasons. God.
There's a ghost in my house because my sign keeps falling off the wall. Oh, you're spitting everywhere. My mic's not working. Nobody set up our stream.
Good question from Jonathan K. You're going to talk about football anytime? Probably not.
Maybe
Jonathan,
not.
To be honest. We're both on Red Arrows. We're both back in the million club. Do we have to talk about FPL?
The best thing is now, a lot of mine and Lee's conversations on a weekend revolve around what's happening to you in FPL now. He's how's Az doing? And I'm like, I don't think it's going well.
Do you know what? I thought the banter season was behind me last year, and it literally though, this last season it felt like everything was going wrong. This season it's been one decision, and that's been holding on to Haaland and not going to Salah. You know, and that's it. And when you look at the stats, you know, I did the FPL show on Friday. You look at the underlying stats. There's nothing between them, but Salah is just absolutely killing him. I know it's no Christmas tree up. I guess that's because Spurs obviously got the win. That you were the Christmas miracle happened. You must be absolutely buzzing.
My Christmas tree is now up. I put it up on.
That wasn't the deal.
Put it up yesterday. I put it up last night whilst watching. Last night I put it up. Put it up last night whilst watching Man City go 3-0 up, and then we were like, "Oh, this is really boring. I'm just going to go on and coast it." So we turned off and watched the Bake Off. Only to then Lee went on Twitter like, I don't know, however many minutes later, and was like, "Sam, it's 3-3. Can we get back to the City game?" So we went back and watched that. So the Christmas tree is now up. Am I happy? As I am. I can't tell you how. So on Saturday we went to watch. As I think I told you, I wasn't watching the game because we went to watch the script.
Yeah.
And so we were in the O2. Lee was nearly in tears because Flecken finally got a clean sheet and all things were well with the world. So he was happy. And then we go to this restaurant. We sat down having a burger with my friend and Lee. And she's not a football fan. Full stop. Bless her. But she's so sweet that she just goes with it. So we're sat there. And the Wi-Fi in there was so bad. So it wouldn't play Sky Go. Whatever I did, it just would not put it on. So I was like, oh, so annoying. So I'm watching the text come through on my phone instead, like scrolling through, a bit like the olden days where you used to go on teletext, for those of you that are old enough to remember that. And Spurs scored, and do you remember when we were at Spurs together, again, that Arsenal game, and I punched you in the arm?
I do,
my
celebration. Still got the bruise, yeah.
So Spurs go 1-0 up, and I punched Lee. So I didn't mean to, and just in my celebrations, I just smacked him, and he was like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm so sorry, we just scored. Then we went 2-0 up. Then eventually, when we got inside the bowl, I got Wi-Fi, so I sat in a bar in the O2 watching the last sort of 25 minutes on Sky Go on my phone. I was the happiest version of myself I've maybe ever been. I was at one point I went to buy a Script t-shirt because I love them that much, and I'm standing in the merch queue, and as I'm in the merch queue, Porro scored, and I literally jumped up and down to the point where the man behind me was hysterically laughing and was like, "You a Spurs fan by any chance?" And I was like, "Yes!" Bouncing up and down. And Jen, my friend, who has no clue what was going on, she was like, "Shall I just jump with you?" I was like, "Yes, please. Yes, I look like less of an idiot." So we're just bouncing up and down. It was brilliant. I mean, I was happy.
You could say that Porro deserves a shot in the Hall of Fame. Postecoglou was the man who can't be moved. And you've beaten City not for the first time.
Yeah. And they got nothing.
Do I not get anything for that? 3 Script puns in one?
That was very... Yeah, but that's why I gave you... And then I gave you one. They got nothing. Nothing's one of their songs.
I don't know the Script well enough to know any more of their songs. I just wrote those 3 down.
I'm quite impressed. That is very, very good. I'm very impressed.
That's my research done for this stream. I haven't done any FPL stuff, but Script puns.
I love the Script so much. And I was... Yeah, Saturday night I was so happy. We got home from the Script at like, I don't know what time it was, like gone midnight. And Lee was like, "Bed?" And I was like, "No, tea, chocolate, match of the day." So we sat till 1:30 in the morning with a cup of tea, some chocolate, and match of the day. I lived my best life this weekend. It was great.
I've got to be honest, I owe anyone who watches these streams regularly or each week or even just last week, probably hasn't turned up again. I was completely wrong with everything I said. I thought City would win that game comfortably. I thought they were going to bounce back. I had Haaland captain. I kept Foden. And it was just a complete disaster. And people asked me questions and they said, should we be getting rid of Haaland? Should we be getting Salah? You were bullish. You were -4s. Get rid of Haaland. Bring in Salah. Absolutely the right decision. I said, give him another week. It was a painful weekend, Sam. It really was. It was without Matheus Cunha.
Yeah,
I would have been on like, I don't know, 30 points or something. It was a brutal week.
It definitely felt like last week was quite divisive, wasn't it? Like, I mean, the Spurs game, I think, threw a lot of people. I was quite optimistic going up there because we actually always play quite well when we go there, and I wasn't convinced that Dragusin and Ben Davis were going to be that bad, and actually they weren't. And Vicario, shout out to Vicario, playing 60 minutes with a broken ankle or fractured ankle.
I mean, that is ridiculous. I know.
That is commitment to the cause, that is.
And he was good as well. You wouldn't have known it. He was actually coming out to collect the ball and he was like making great saves. It was a brilliant performance from everyone. I didn't think Dragusin and Davis had it in them. I thought they marshalled defence really well. I thought Kulusevski was absolutely unbelievable. Obviously Maddison, who hasn't even been playing, I saw him in the lineup and thought, that's a risky move, isn't it, playing him in? And he was just like absolutely unbelievable. Brennan Johnson I thought was going to be the biggest threat and he was benched. I don't know. It was like one for the history books. It really was that match. So, yeah, fair play. And yeah, you mentioned, but yeah, I mean, basically, if you haven't got Haaland, if you haven't got Salah, you're just getting absolutely destroyed every week. If you didn't have Salah captain even this week, you probably went for Palmer, you probably went for Haaland. And it's that, isn't it? It's not just the fact he's getting double digits. It's the fact that the other players just aren't getting any returns at all. And if you try and... I went for Solanke last week. I went for Haaland this week. 4 points captain. You just stick the armband on Salah. That's like 40, 50 points different. Unreal.
I think the other thing is that you were actually quite lucky in some ways because he takes his shirt off, so loses those points. He could, within a few minutes of Diaz coming on, he misses a sitter. Then he hits the bar at the post, and it kind of like, so he could have had 4 by the end of that game.
He also could have had 0. I'm not taking it as that lucky. I think he probably got about what he deserved, but
I don't know. I couldn't help but feel that I'd been a bit hard done by the end of that game because watching those 2 misses, I was like, you joking me, Salah?
Get stuffed, you can. You Salah owners can get stuffed.
But I do think it was a funny week, wasn't it? Because I very nearly took, and I undenied right up until the deadline, as to whether to take a -4 to do Solanke to Isak last week. And in the end, I was going to the gym with Evie and I was like, right, I'm so unsure I should just do nothing because I don't know what's the right thing here. And part of me was thinking ahead to this week coming and the Fulham at home game for Solanke and all of that. And I was like, I just don't know what to do. So I didn't do anything. But that game on Monday night for me was the surprise of the game week. I just didn't see West Ham performing, and I didn't see Newcastle kind of collapsing as they did. Like, I know that they had people out through injury, and obviously they're missing Dan Burn and all that stuff. And that's
there
fine.
was no excuse to lose that game.
Not at home. There's no excuse at home to lose that game to a West Ham team that have been so poor. So, yeah, I was really surprised, and I think Game Week 12 highlighted the who you want and who you don't. I think came up quite clearly. So I think if you've still got a wild card, actually, you're in quite a nice position now to know who you're targeting.
And I think someone like Fernandes is interesting because obviously his stock was really high going into the match, but there'll be a few people a little bit nervy about, you'll obviously hold him for Everton, but after that, he could be, if he doesn't get anything against Everton, I think he's going to be a very popular sell, because if he is playing in that deep role, I don't see many people kind of looking to buy him.
No,
you've got him, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've got him, and he was one of my captaincy options for last week. I thought about him and eventually just was like, don't be stupid, just go Salah. It's Salah at home, against Southampton, except all that stuff. But I don't have Saka at the moment, and I really need a route to him. And my original plan was to go Bruno to Saka. And then I was like, after the 17 points in Game Week 11, I was thinking, maybe it might be Mbommo to Saka. Not this week, next week. But I think the fact that both Brentford and Manchester United have a really nice fixture this week is going to give me pause for thought. So I'm going to roll without Saka for one more week, have those two. And then if Bruno plays as deep again, then he'll be the one that goes. Yeah. If Bruno plays in a more attacking role, then I'll hold him and I'll sell Mbommo because the fixtures change for him then. So, yeah, I'm just going to give myself a little bit of breathing space, I think, on that one. But I did do a transfer on Saturday night.
Okay.
Whilst
Pedro?
watching... Yeah,
thought so.
Solanke
to Pedro?
No, I did Strand Larson.
Oh yeah, okay, that's pretty good.
Because so Saturday night I was watching. We got home. I was hyperactive and very happy about life, and watching Match of the Day. And I said to Lee, like, my biggest regret on wildcard was not getting João Pedro. Like, I really wanted him, and I should have just done it, and I didn't, and I should have. And so I just fixed it because I don't want to have Strand Larson and Cunha, and I know that Cunha is the way that I need to go with this. So this week I've already done João Pedro in for Strand Larson. Next week I'll probably do, as part of my transfers, I'll probably do Chris Wood to Cunha, and then I've got Cunha for the foreseeable after that then, and
I think that
everything's well with the world.
I think the kind of optimal, if you want to call it, forward line at the moment is probably Isak, Cunha and Pedro, isn't it? That's the three. If you could pick three now, it'd probably be those three, right?
Yes, I think I agree with that. I think the Isak one is maybe the most contentious of those, just with Wilson back as well, and with Newcastle's weird sort of performance on Monday evening.
Bit Spursy.
They were a little bit, but we weren't Spursy. We were epic.
Well, you were Spursy against City. You always do well against City.
Yeah, we'll see what happens against Fulham. But yeah, I think the Isak one's probably the one that you can play with a little bit, because there are other players that you could have
Jackson,
there.
A few people saying Brian says Jackson.
Tom
Johnson, and it's all his fault for the stream being late today. So
he forgot we existed.
We better take some questions, Sam. We've had loads.
Yeah, we should.
Coming in. We've done some good stalling while the chat grew. We've got 133 watching now.
There you go. See, that was our point at the beginning. We had to stall for long enough that we got an audience.
We're good at that. We've done well. We've had a super chat. Thank you to Maliki Fox. Hi, Az and Sam. Hope you're both well. Is Az worried about the Salah holding again and being overtaken by Jelena? I mean, you've already overtaken me. You overtook me on the wildcard 2 weeks ago. Jelena is down in the depths of, I don't even know how many, 2.8 million or something like that. But
didn't Mark overtake you this week?
Yeah, he's 2 points ahead of me now.
Come on, Az. This is going to be your week.
Yeah, well, I've bought Saka in. So you mentioned wanting Saka. I've already made that move. I've already done Foden to Saka. I had the exact money.
That was a no-brainer.
Yeah, I had the exact money to do that. The issue is no Salah. I've still got no Salah. And the only way I can get Salah now is with a -8. So -8 to do that, I don't know. I mean, it would be Dibbling and Haaland out for Salah and Pedro. That would be the move for a -8. Or I'm playing Haaland and Rodgers. The only thing that puts me off doing it is I probably would captain Haaland in 14 against Forest.
Okay.
But there's also Palmer there away at Southampton. So
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Like, let's look at so 14 is your week, is it? That's the problem week. So Palmer's got Southampton.
Yeah.
Where are Liverpool then?
Away at Newcastle.
You could definitely still go there, couldn't you? Arsenal depends on what Manchester United are doing, I guess.
It's a -8 though, Sam. That's a big hit.
I'd do it.
You do it, yeah.
I honestly think that Salah could get those 8 back on his own.
Yeah. Oh, for the way City are playing. I mean, you mentioned that 3-0
They're so bad at the
capitulation.
minute. Like, even last night when they were 3-0 up and we were watching them while I was putting my tray up, and I was watching them and I was like, they still don't look right. They're still not free-flowing City play that they have been. But it looked like it was locked. It should have been 3-0. And then they end up drawing it 3-3. And Pep just looks like a man who doesn't know what to do with his life anymore.
He looked like someone in the dressing room had punched him in the face and that he'd clawed his own skin off.
He did.
Really
he definitely
weird.
did. It was one of those moments where, and his lip, I know he's cut here when he says he scratched himself, and he probably did, but he does look like he's got a fat lip.
Yeah, Gianni
If you look
pointed
in
this
those
out,
pictures,
yeah.
He looks like someone's punched him.
I'm
sure they didn't.
I can't see any way that they go to Anfield. They've got a bad record at Anfield anyway.
Yeah, they have.
Liverpool are playing the best they've probably played in years. I can't see any way that City get a result there. I mean, it's the kind of weird game. Maybe they sneak a win, but they've got no midfield.
See it.
Lewis in midfield is not working for them.
It's not working.
And Gundogan has been horrendous since he came back.
He has. He looks past it. And that's a horrible thing to say about Gundogan because has been a phenomenal talent for
FPL
years
legend.
and years.
Yeah.
100%. But he just looks too old at the minute and not quite fit enough. Kyle Walker seems to have lost all his ability to run in the last few weeks. And I know that they're missing Rodri, and Rodri is the Ballon d'Or and all of that. And, it does have an impact, but it shouldn't have as much of an impact as it has had.
Five without a win for a team like City. 4 losses.
Well, it's 6 now, isn't it? Because they didn't win last night.
Is it 5 losses in a row and 6?
5 in a row and 6 without a win.
Jesus Christ! And then away at Anfield next.
And I can't see anything other than a Liverpool win because while City are playing badly, Liverpool are playing really well, and it's an opportunity to go 11 points clear. Do you know? Lee was telling me that there's only been one time where a team's had a bigger lead and not won it.
Who was that? Was that Liverpool?
No, it was the Keegan. I'll love it if we beat them.
Oh yeah,
season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just can't see anything other than Liverpool winning that one, particularly as it's at Anfield. Like they've got to go away to Anfield, one of the most difficult places to go, and try and get a result out of it at a time where if they'd have beaten Feyenoord. If they'd have won that game 3-0, I'd have gone, okay, well, there's a bit of momentum. They'll take something from that game and they'll build momentum. To lose that game in the last 15 minutes of the game, when you're not lose it, but to end up drawing, which will feel like a defeat to them, from 3-0 up to 3-3, what's the atmosphere like in that dressing room at the end of that game? Like what's going on in the training ground and the conversations? Like that's a really hard moment to get out of. I don't care whether you're the champions or whether you're Southampton. Those conversations are hard, and it doesn't matter whereabouts in the league you are. Those moments are difficult, even if you're the most professional team in the world. They're difficult moments, and the last thing they want is to go away to Liverpool this weekend.
It's the season, though, isn't it? It's the season in this game. Although you say you can't win or lose a season in one match, if City go and beat Liverpool, they could salvage this season because they're not cut adrift. They had such a strong start to the season. Actually, losing those games, if they go and beat Liverpool, they're back in it. If they go and lose to Liverpool, that's it. That is 7 without a win. That's the Premier League done. Like the whole thing unravels. They've got to win, and they're not gonna. I can't see it. I just cannot see it.
I think they're done now. I don't see them winning it.
No,
because it's not just that they've got to improve. Liverpool and Arsenal and Chelsea, because they're all in it, and Brighton, if you want to include Brighton as well. All of them have got to drop off a cliff. Everyone else has got to start performing badly and allow them to catch up.
Yeah.
And I just don't see that happening.
No. No, it's fascinating. I love it. It's made well. I love it in the sense of the league and football reasons. I hate it in the sense that I've had Foden and Haaland for the last 5 weeks, and they have been absolutely murdered by everyone. They're literally the worst 2 players I could have held on to. Yeah. Anyway, that's Yelena's in the chat. Down in the depths. Yeah, I'll still overtake. Yeah, she's confident. She's on the rise, annoyingly. So
to be fair, I'd be confident that she was going to overtake as well.
I think
like,
so.
No, but just because I feel like I just feel like you've got yourself in that situation that I was in at the back end of last season, where you're almost like, well, I'm in it now. I've just got to keep doing it, and it's like I keep going with this same stupid decisions. I'm not saying your decisions are stupid. This was me at the back end of last season. Like, it was the same stupid decisions week upon week. Like, I won't captain Haaland because I need to be different and I need to catch up and all of this stuff.
I know.
And you end up chasing it. And
I know.
And the trouble is that like, it's really hard because for you, it's one of those moments now. And I was listening obviously to you and Needle off the bench. And what you said is 100% right. Because if you do this now, you sell him from -8. Okay. Between now and game week 16, maybe that's the right move. But then by the time we get to game week 18, Everton, Leicester, West Ham, Brentford, Ipswich.
I know.
Oh, somebody's just rung my doorbell.
Are you anyone in? You take it.
I better go and get it because one of the kids might answer it. Stool.
Yeah,
I'll be back.
I better take it in case one of the kids answer it. It's a lot of faith put. I think. Yeah, that's the issue. It's like it's difficult doing these pods and streams because I know Salah is a better option than Haaland, but it's not just a case of moving Haaland to Salah. It's the case of you've got to take the hit to do it. And the issue with that is I've got other issues. Like this week, I had Foden. So if I'm taking Haaland out and I've still got Foden, it's like, well, that's a wasted spot. So Foden is difficult though because I genuinely just don't think Foden is at it at all. Whereas Haaland is at it. He's getting chances. He just can't seem to finish. Very strange. That was quick.
Well, so I don't like the kids to open. They're not really that old, my kids, as you know. And so I'm always like, don't open the door unless you know who it is. Plus, I also have this fear at the moment because half the deliveries that are arriving are their Christmas presents. And like some of these shops don't wrap them and disguise them. Like, so then I'm like, well, what happens if they open the door? And then it's like...
Well, it's their life over. They can't possibly ever come back from that.
I know. It's a disaster. Like, Christmas is basically ruined. Might as well cancel it.
Do they know where you hide the presents? Because when I was younger, I discovered where my mum hid them, and I used to just go and look at them, and then ruin Christmas myself.
Did you?
Yeah, it was good times.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I hide them different places every year.
Oh, that's smart. Yeah, my mum didn't do that.
And currently,
I think she just trusted me not to do that.
Yeah. Well, currently their actual main presents are at my parents' house, so they can't. So they're hidden away, and they're not coming over here until Christmas Eve, so it's all fine. Okay. The presents, that is not my parents. They're welcome to come here anytime they want. Yeah.
That's good clarification. I'm sure.
Yeah, but Max had opened the front door, even though I'm like, don't open the door when I'm streaming unless it's somebody that you know. I'm like, I'm sure he doesn't know the Amazon driver.
Now we've seen all his presents and...
Oh, I don't know what it is.
I was going to say being kidnapped, but that seemed a bit dark.
2 parcels.
2 parcels? Are they presents?
I don't know, Az. I don't know.
Good.
Well, this one's actually not for me. That one's for Lee. This one's for me.
People want an unboxing stream, says Jay.
Right, hang on, I'll have a look what it is. It's got a batteries label on it, so... What is it?
Come back to the...
It's a...
Oh, an iWalk. What's that?
It's like a battery pack.
Okay.
It's for Max.
Good. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Michael Bailey says, didn't everyone search for their Christmas presents when they were kids? Yeah, thank you. Although I found them.
I don't think I ever did that.
No? Yeah, but you're quite
I was such a good girl, yeah.
You weren't a little... I mean, I wasn't a little rascal.
Rag. You probably were.
I don't think so. I had a brief.
But also, you were only what? Like the guy from the In-Betweeners?
Yeah.
Were you like Will?
Not in secondary school, I might add, but
you were an only child as well, so you probably got loads of presents.
Yeah. I got whatever I wanted. It was great. Yeah, not having to share presents is one of the big perks. because I've got like two friends who are like brothers to me, but they didn't get to benefit from the present, so I got all those. So I had all the benefits of brothers without everything else. Anyway, we should probably take some actual FPL stuff.
Let's talk FPL. I've talked all sorts of
Don't bring him
nonsense
into
today.
this.
Huh?
Don't bring him into this.
Who?
Let's talk FPL. Come on, you're not on my wavelength today, Sam. Come on. I'm
not.
sharp. I'm sharp.
Either that or I'm just half asleep.
This is a -8 from Brian. What do you think of a -8? Haaland, Bruno, and Rodgers for João Pedro, Salah, and Saka. Similar to mine. Mine was with Foden instead of Bruno. Also Dibbling instead of Rodgers. I like this less because I don't know if I'd be losing Bruno ahead of Everton, and I still think Rodgers is a easy keep.
I'd do this.
I knew you'd say that.
But I like this because João Pedro and Saka and Salah genuinely think are three, like, I think in the next couple of weeks, they're going to be three that you have to have or that you at least want to have. Whereas Bruno, I've got Bruno. I'm going to hold him for one more week. I'm not convinced that he's the right asset, like, because I think if he plays deeper again, then you're spending 8.5.
But you could do Haaland and Rodgers to Pedro and Salah for a -4. You're saying you do a -4 for Bruno to Saka, which you're not doing. I don't think you can do a -4 for Bruno to Saka when he's got Everton.
I mean, that is true. If you can do. Yeah, that is true, because actually you could just hold Bruno for 1 week and do the Saka move the week after, which is basically what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So you could do that and just do a -4. But I do... The other thing to consider here is that genuinely I like these moves, and I think in the long term you're going to do it anyway. So part of my thinking is, well, if I'm going to do it anyway, I might as well just do it now for the minus and take the extra minus because it will pay off in the long run.
I'd leave Bruno. Everton at home, I would leave that. I would do the other two.
Yeah, all right, I'll go with you on that, but I think I'd be still tempted.
I've done Foden to Saka, which feels like that's a no-brainer. Bruno to Saka is a bit more different. A bit more different doesn't make any sense. Hi all from New Zealand, says Nils. Which combo do you prefer? Isak and Winks. Okay, so Isak versus Jackson and Rodgers.
Jackson and Rodgers.
Two players for the price of one.
Mm-hmm. And I also really like Jackson and Chelsea more than I like Newcastle and Isak.
Jackson is the one, isn't he? I think if you can't get Palmer as well, of all the I think I was saying this to Lee. If you've got like Saka versus Havertz, Foden versus Haaland, like Diaz versus Salah, whatever, Palmer to Jackson feels like the least between them, I think. Yeah,
I'd agree with that, and I think also the easiest way to double up as well. Yeah. So I would, I think Jackson and Rodgers, absolutely. For me, that would be the choice. Yep.
What's with Watkins, says Lalex? Sell to João Pedro or hold?
I'd sell. I mean, the fixtures are mixed, aren't they? So obviously it's Chelsea up next. I honestly think they might get bashed. Then it's Brentford, who, God knows. Southampton, Forest, Man City, Newcastle, Brighton. Like, they're not.
They kind of like they interdisperse like really good fixtures with their not so easy one, like the week after.
Yeah, but at 9 million, I think you want like João Pedro. If he doesn't perform at 5.5, you're kind of like, well, okay.
I wonder if Watkins is going to start all of the next three, given that they've got three games in 9 days or whatever it is.
Yeah, well, they're one of the sides that have got the most fixtures, aren't they, over the Christmas period? Because obviously we've got 90 games in the next 45 days. But also you've got the League Cup and you've got the Champions League for Villa. They obviously play tonight. So there's a lot going on. And they have got Duran, who they could play. I don't know. Look, I think I'd describe Watkins at the minute as a luxury pick. I think he's a luxury pick that you don't have to have. You can go all the way down to João Pedro if you want to. You can go down to Isak or Jackson if you want to. You can go down to, I mean, I don't know why you would, but you could go to Solanke if you wanted to. You could go to Cunha if you like. There's so many other players, and all of those I think have got just as much potential to return, if not more, than Watkins, and they're cheaper.
I agree. I'd sell. I think this is the week to sell. I think you've got him. He got his goal against Palace. he'll probably get a couple more goals over the next few weeks, but you can, like you say, you can do him down to Pedro. He's going to do well, I think, over the next few. Use that money to strengthen elsewhere. Yeah, I think it's a sell. We agree. How nice. Malachi says, thoughts on the Chelsea triple attack? I don't even know where the third... I mean, what would that be? Madueke, I guess. He's the only one, isn't he?
Mister, I'm going to get in the way of Palmer's points.
I literally got in Palmer this week over Salah.
So annoying. I slightly disagree with you, because I think I'd go Gusto.
He's not attack though, is he?
Because
it's triple attack.
Yeah, but I don't think I would go for a triple attack. I think if I was going to triple up on Chelsea, I'd go for Gusto.
Sam.
No, I know.
Question is, would you do triple attack?
But no, thoughts on triple attack is the question. No, if you're tripling on Chelsea, two attackers and a defender. That's how I'd go.
You said you don't agree with me when I said...
You said Madueke.
I said he's the only one. If you were going to triple, you're not going to go for... You can't go for Neto or Felix, can you? Or Sancho. Remember Sancho when he had 45 minutes and everyone thought he was the best player ever?
Yeah, I do remember.
That's fun.
Yeah. No, I don't fancy the triple
Get out
attack.
the way, Madueke is British.
Get out the way. I basically shouted that at the TV. We were at,
Wait.
Go on.
Sorry, no, go on.
We were at my parents', and my dad, obviously, as you know, is a hardcore Chelsea fan, and my brother was there as well watching the game, and they were just like, what? And I was just going mental. I was like, get out of the way. And my dad was like, are you all right, dear? And I was like, no, it's just cost me a lot of FPL points.
Yeah, God, we are pathetic, aren't we? I was doing exactly the same thing watching it. Gusto, though, we didn't even play last game.
He was ill.
Ill.
He was ill, missed the game through illness.
Well, maybe I don't want a player in my team who gets ill.
He's had his illness now. He's not going to be ill again.
Well, he might. He's got a weak constitution. Don't rate him.
Wow. All right, fair enough.
Hassan, would you do Mbumo and Højlund to Saka and João Pedro for a -4? I'm seeing quite a few people talking about selling Mbumo this week. I think that is absolutely crazy.
I wouldn't sell him this week, but I'm thinking about selling him next week.
Same. Surely you give him Leicester at home.
Managerless Leicester, absolutely.
You have to, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You give him this week, and then you sell him for next week.
Do Højlund to Pedro for free, and then do Mbumo to Saka next week for free.
Yeah, but would you do Højlund straight out? Don't you just think that the team he put out last week was partly to do with who the players that he had available to him?
I would do Højlund. I would. Why you've even got Højlund, Hassan? I don't know. I would be getting rid of him without a second thought. Even if he starts, I don't think he's a good pick, and I don't even think he starts. Straight. That is the easiest move I think I'd do if I had him.
I mean, I am sort of being facetious because João Pedro, clearly I like him. I wanted him on wildcard. I went and made a transfer for him on Saturday night, so I would still do it. But I wouldn't sell him Mbumo this week. I'm going to probably do that transfer next week. Yeah.
I'd sell Højlund though. Dan the Man, Matoma Gordon or Johnson from Gameweek 14. Yeah, what's going to happen with Johnson now? He's a risk now, isn't he?
Well, I think we set up differently in game week 12 because we basically knew that they were going to have no control of the middle, so we set up to control and dominate the midfield. So we had Basuma, Papsar and Maddison all in there dominating. Those two were winning everything and sending it to Maddison, and it was going up, and it was wonderful. Do I think that we'll play like that with that same system and structure against, say, Fulham? I'm not convinced that we do. I think
so. Who drops out then? Who drops out of Maddison and Kulusevski?
Well, he's also dropped Papsar before, so like there are moments where I think he could just play Bissouma and then put Maddison in front with Kulu, then the sort of Kulu and Maddison in the same spot, and then have Brennan back out on the wing. That's
quite lightweight though, isn't it? In the central areas.
It is, which is why for the last couple of weeks before last week, he didn't play Maddison. Maddison didn't start, did he? And he had Bentancur and Papsar. Obviously, Bentancur suspended at the moment. I think it's hard to know with that Spurs midfield, to be honest, who's gonna be the one that drops out. And I think actually with the amount of fixtures that we have, it'll be rotated. Yeah. I think we'll see lots of rotation from Spurs in those positions. I think the only certain starts that you have are Kulusevski, Son, and Solanke. Those three are certain.
Because a couple of weeks ago, I thought Johnson was as nailed as as they came, because he'd been putting in good performances. He's got like 6 or 7 in a row. It's amazing how quickly things can turn around, isn't it? One good performance from Maddison in the middle against City, and suddenly he's a major doubt.
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see what he does in the game tomorrow against Roma. Because so the other thing to consider here is obviously Vicario is out. So our ability to play out from the back is a bit different now as well, because Fraser Forster, one of the things Forster is brilliant at is he's actually much better than Vicario from set pieces. So from corners, we should have a goalkeeper that actually dominates. So maybe that'll be a bonus. But he doesn't play out from the back as well. He's not so good with his feet as Vicario is. So we might see a bit of slowing down as how it comes out of the defence, particularly if it's Dragerson and Davis rather than Van der Ven and Romero. So that means that whoever's in the middle, it will take that little bit of extra time for the ball to get to them. So they're going to need to be speedy and move the ball quite quickly, which suits Papsar. I think it suits both Brennan and Maddison's game. So I think we might be do a little bit of rotation around those positions. But I think with the way that Kulusevski's been playing, and the fact that of all of them, Kulusevski is the only one that can play both out on the wing and in that kind of number 10 position.
Yeah.
Locks him. Richarlison's obviously injured, so Solanke's absolutely locked up top. He's got to play every game.
It's why I quite like holding on to Solanke. I mean, I know it was only an assist he got, but I was going to do a -4 for Solanke to Isak.
Yeah.
And in the end, I thought, it's City and all that. And that would have been a disaster, because it would have been like 7 points less than the terrible total that I got. And I don't know, I do think I'd rather have Isak going forward, but I've got so many other fires to put out. And I think particularly for these 3 games, when they all play in quick succession, would it be surprised to see Isak going off early, missing one of these games?
Not with Wilson back as well.
No, not necessarily. Slanky's going to play all 3, guaranteed.
Yeah, he will, yeah.
This question from Dan the Man: which would you prefer out of the 3, Matoma, Gordon, or Johnson? Kind of
from
rules
Gameweek
Johnson out
40.
then.
Well, what's your thoughts on Matoma? Because I love the fixtures for Brighton. He's locked, but it feels a bit weird to take the midfield slot with Matoma. To me,
Yeah, that's how I feel. I think João Pedro is clearly the best option at Brighton, and I think if you're getting Matoma, you're trying to cover Pedro, and then it's like you're trying to cover a 5.6 million striker. Just get the 5.6 million striker. I don't hate it. He's a good partner. I mean, he's 5% owned. He's my differential of the week on TikTok. For anyone who follows the Scout TikTok channel, he should do fine. I mean, against Southampton, he could get a brace in that. No one would be that surprised. The fixtures are good, but there's a lot of competition, I think, in midfield. And if you're looking at, Saka, Salah, Palmer, Mbumo,
probably Rodgers
Fernandes,
is still there.
Rodgers, I still think is a great option. I don't know if I'd be using a spot for him, but if he's easy to get to, I don't hate it.
The thing is, don't you feel that way about all 3 of these guys? Because all 3 of them have a striker that is either just slightly more expensive, but equally as good, if not maybe better. Like Gordon, I think you could have Isak. Solanke, you could have over Johnson. João Pedro, you could have over Matoma. All of them then move that problem out of midfield. I think of the 3 of them, I actually prefer Johnson, but I still don't think I'd use a midfielder slot on him in the coming weeks.
Really? See, I'd put Johnson bottom, given that I don't think he's necessarily going to play. I think I'd go Matoma top, then Gordon, then Johnson, and that's just a fix. That's just fixtures. I think if they all started, I think they're all relatively similar. Maybe you would put Johnson at the top of the list, but he's a bit of a doubt, and Brighton have the best fixtures, so I'll go for Matoma, but. Yeah, there's not much in it, so go for whoever you want.
Yeah.
Let's take another question. Let's take it from Andrew. What's his name? The question Andrew said, the problem is Az has bottled it over Haaland. How can you say I've bottled it? If anything, I haven't bottled it, and I've been punished for the unbottled job. Moving to Salah was the bottle job.
Yeah. Yeah. Bless you.
You're all bottle jobs except for me with my 1.6 million rank. It was all going so well at the start of the season. I was like 500k at one point. That was good time.
You were flying.
Nils, Mbumo was a differential captain.
Yeah, quite like it.
Yep.
I do quite like it. I think they're averaging like 5 goals a game or something ridiculous when they play at home. And Leicester are just in the mud, aren't they? I don't dislike that. I think he's an option. Like, I think Palmer is probably the way I'm leaning at the moment, but I don't mind Mbomo as an option.
I mean, his returns at home have been 9, 14, 9, 8, 15, 5. He hasn't blanked at home all season. This is the time when you could argue Salah and City. I mean, Liverpool could run away with it, but it could be a lower scoring game if neither team wants to lose it. Man City are the ones that have got to go and win. I don't think they're going to be happy.
But don't you think that's going to leave space for Salah? Because that's how I feel.
Yeah, true.
I feel like City are going to turn up there knowing they have to get something and try and play. And
unless they score early and just sit back, but that's not really. No, I can't
see how they can, Naz. I don't think they've got the personnel to sit back, even if they scored early.
So would you go in Boom? Are you going Salah captain this week?
It's between Salah. So I was planning to go Bruno this week, but obviously there's playing deeper has put me off from last week. So it's between Salah and Palmer for me. I'm sort of tempted on Solanke, but I've been burnt once there already.
God, no, I'm never doing that again. He's got a stay of execution in my team. There's no bloody way I'm captaining him again.
Also quite like João Pedro, but it's Friday night. I can't do it to myself. It'll ruin my whole weekend.
Yeah. Nils again. Does Dunk come back into the Brighton team? Yeah, almost certainly. But if you're looking to buy someone, just get Van Heck. He's 0.1 more and will play every minute. And Dunk could easily miss a game because he's just come back from an injury. So I wouldn't go there for him. Database engineer likes Bowen.
I like Bowen too. It's weird, isn't it? Because West Ham, not on the radar at all. Fabianski, I've had for ages. I do like him. Back-to-back clean sheets. It's Arsenal next, puts me off because they are looking elite again at the moment. But then after that Arsenal game, Leicester, Wolves, Bournemouth, Brighton, Southampton, and Bomo to Bowen actually looks perfect. So that was on my agenda in the next few weeks was Mbomo and Bruno in for Bowen and Saka, and then Cunha in up top. That was where I was kind of thinking with my transfers moving forward, and nothing that's happened in the last few weeks has changed my mind. The only thing that puts me off is that West Ham they're the very definition of Spursy at the moment. Like, you just, what are you getting with them? Like, I was expecting them to be dreadful on Monday night, and then they weren't. Like, they were good. So, I don't know. I think I'm not doing anything ahead of the Arsenal game. But if Bowen plays well again against Arsenal, then yes, I think that could be on the cards.
Yeah, I mean, how many points has Bowen got? Bowen is... I mean, he's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's the 7th top scoring midfielder. He's got 57 points. Yep. Which isn't bad. I mean, it's less than Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz has got 65 despite barely playing. Someone like Mbumo's got 79, so he's quite a way off that. But I mean, Bowen's got more points than 57? More points than Visser. Visser was injured. He's got nearly as many points as Watkins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
62. Yeah, I don't hate that. I think the Mbumo to Bowen move is going to be very popular next week. It's one of the reasons why if I did that -8, I'd have a bit more room to like move Mbumo around. Whereas if I don't do it, I feel like I'm going to be stuck with Mbumo, and then is that going to be a problem because there's players with better fixtures? So that kind of pushes me towards maybe taking the hit.
Yeah, and I'm kind of also intrigued to see what happens because obviously Thiago came in for a bit of time last week as well. Kind of interested to see how that plays out with Brentford as well.
Replacement.
That probably moves Whistle out wide, doesn't it? Then and then I think he becomes less attractive as well.
Yeah, true. Bovine Joni says, "Do not put any faith in Lopetegui ball."
Yeah,
fair. They got Monday nights, haven't they? West Ham. They love a Monday night game. I think they're not going to have one of those for a while.
No.
Let's take one more question and then we will head off. Good one from Tony. Chris Wood, worth keeping beyond Gameweek 13. Still an elite finisher, and I'm thinking of keeping him. I mean, he was benched, wasn't he, for Amanai in the
but don't you think that was just to do with the international minutes?
Probably, but Taro is there and available and can start. And that was why a lot of people didn't go there kind of earlier in the season. The fixtures are rubbish for Forest after this game.
Yeah, well, I'm Wood to Cunha or Wood to João Pedro if you don't have João Pedro.
I think so.
That's the
way. I think he's an easy sell after this week.
I agree. Yeah.
Perfect. Before we go, I just want to mention the Fantasy Football Scout members area, which is unlocked and free for the next 7 days if you get a trial of that over on the website. Tell us about that, Sam. Tell us about what is Fantasy Football Scout? I've never heard of it.
It's really good, Do you know we were award winning as well? We won awards. Got to lift a trophy in the Spurs Stadium last week, It was great.
The Hall of Fame.
I lived the dream with my trophy out
Was
in
the
the
script
Spurs
playing?
stands. In my head, they were. I was in the Hall of Fame with my trophy above my head, out in the East Stand, living my best life. Yes, so for Black Friday, we have an offer currently on. You can get a 7-day free trial if you sign up at any point between now and Sunday evening. Obviously, if you do it this side of the weekend, then you benefit from all of the data and stuff heading into Gameweek 13. Because there's a midweek round of fixtures, you can get 14 as well. So time it wisely, and you can get 2 game weeks of data to help you to make your transfers. It's completely free to sign up. If you decide you didn't want to stand as a member, you would have to then go and cancel your membership. However, it is a good opportunity to trial it. It is also the last few weeks of the current pricing. We are still running our pre-season pricing, but we do actually have to stop it at some point, I have been told. So now is an opportunity to sign up, get some free time, use it to your advantage in the next couple of weeks, and also benefit from the current cheap pricing before it goes up slightly.
And we just finish on this question, which I'm sure you're going to love. Spurs have a trophy room?
Yes, we do.
The dust, it must take quite a bit of vacuuming, but
this is honestly outrageous. So I'll tell you another story just for fun. On the I got an Uber by myself over there because Lee was meeting me there from work, and one of the like safety settings on Uber is that it shares your drive, doesn't it, with people. And so it shares my drive with Lee, and I thought only with Lee, but I must have set it up to also share it to my dad. I don't know why, but I must have at some point decided that it would be a good idea to let my dad know where I was. Maybe when I was younger, I have no idea. Anyway, so I'm in this car going to Spurs, and my dad messaged me and is like, "Why am I tracking you in an Uber?" I was like, "I don't know, Dad. Must be something I've done in the setting." Anyway, he was loving it. He kept texting me and be like, "Oh, I can see you're here. Oh, I can see you're there." Anyway, when I arrived, he texted me and he went, "Oh, you've arrived. Be careful when you get there. Don't walk into the empty trophy cabinets. You might not see them." And I was like,
yeah,
I'm not happy with you.
Yeah. Was it Johnny? Is Johnny Chapman your dad in disguise?
Maybe. All right, Dad. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of trophies in there. We have won things. People kept making jokes about the Audi Cup and all sorts of things. I don't know.
I mean, that is the only thing you've won in like the last.
We've won things, Az. I've watched us lift the League Cup.
When was that? In like 2007 or something.
Look, I had a bet on that game as well, and I had a bet on Alan Nilsson to score the winning goal, and he blooming well did as well.
Oh my god, I was joking. It was 2007, 2008.
There you go.
Wow. Well, excellent stuff, Sam. Thank you as always. We'll be back next week at some point, probably midweek during the games or before the games, or it's a chaotic couple of weeks coming up.
It's chaos, isn't it?
So yeah, we'll see you all then. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you all very soon.
Bye, guys.